Welcome to Cooking with Ariston. I don't know if you know this, but Ariston is Italy's #1 cooking brand. And today, I'm going to show you how to cook a beautiful roasted lamb rump with spicy harissa. So should we get going? Now this is a gorgeous cooktop. I don't know if you noticed, but it's got a slightly different configuration. It doesn't look like your standard gas top stove. It's because these little elements here distribute the heat really well underneath that pan. So first up, a couple of lamb rumps. So season them, salt and pepper. And that means both sides. So a little bit of flake salt, both sides. And then what I want to do too is, and you don't have to be particularly fussy, but just bruise the thyme leaves and sprinkle them over the top. But this is kind of an important little step that makes sure that those flavours will end up in the lamb. Like that. And then what I do, splash of olive oil, and you can just massage those herbs into the fat, and then same on the other side. And ideally, if you've got a little time, just pop that in the fridge and let it sit there for half an hour, just so that all those flavours come together. Splash of oil in the pan, make sure it's nice and hot, and then fat side in first. Everybody always asks, do I like induction, do I like gas, do I like a hob top? To be honest, I love cooking with gas. It's probably because I'm a chef, and in a commercial environment, gas is really easily controlled. And there's something nice, there's something emotive about cooking over a flame. But maybe that's just me. Easy to control is the #1 feature for me. Now don't be afraid of heat either. Take a few minutes, take a bit of time to make sure that you caramelise these little rumps really well. So this is what we're after. See this crispy golden brown? This is going to be delicious, and that's only going to get better when we pop these in the oven. So this first phase, this caramelisation, you can see how crucial it is. These are really looking good now, and what I'm pleased about is there's fat all over this stovetop, and what I like is that all these little components come out and go in the dishwasher. Love that. The other thing too is if the flame goes out, there's a flame failure, which means it cuts off the gas, so nothing to worry about. Now these look absolutely delicious now. So into a roasting tray. We're going to put a little bit of that, all that juice and oil over the top. I'm going to put more of the same flavours around the lamb rump, so a bit of thyme, a bit of rosemary, and a couple of cloves of garlic, which we can just smash and then just pop over the top. And you can rub them over the lamb if you want, which gives it more flavour. A little bit of olive oil. Touch more salt. So these lamb rumps beautifully caramelised, the rosemary, the thyme, the garlic, a little bit of olive oil. Now pop these into an oven, 200 degrees, and they'll take about 12 to 14 minutes. Take it out, rest it, job done. Right, lamb's in the oven. We're going to make a harissa, which is actually really easy and very delicious. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the skin off this capsicum, and the way you do that is you just pop the capsicum onto that gas. And what it does is it blisters and blackens and kind of enhances the colour of that beautiful red capsicum, but also gives it a smoky char, which is delicious. So that'll take about 8 minutes or so. Little pan. These are the spices that we're going to use for the harissa. We're going to pop in some fennel seed, it's about a teaspoon, and a teaspoon of cumin seeds. And then just toast those. Then when we're toasting, we're not burning. It doesn't have to be really hot, that's why I put it in a cold pan, and it's about releasing the aromas in those little seeds. Once you start smelling those beautiful spices, that fennel and cumin, it's done. So these little spices, these cumin and fennel seeds now, just releasing their aroma, really delicious. So, pop those in a little mortar and pestle, or a little mortar, and we're just going to crush these into a powder. And you notice when you toast them, they take on an entirely different flavour, and they're really delicious. And that's how easy it is. And they smell absolutely delicious. Really good. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about blackening and blistering. You see that skin is now starting to blister off. But when you peel it away, what you notice is this wonderful red, deep red colour, and that's exactly what you want. So as it starts to blacken, you just turn it over and you blacken that pepper all over until literally, and you're going to think I'm crazy, it looks like this. And what I've done with this is I've blackened it all over, popped it into a bowl, a little bit of cling film, and I've let it steam. And then what we do is we then peel away that skin. So you can peel away what you can with your fingers, and then any leftover we can just scrape away with our knife. So all I'm going to do is just cut this pepper in half, and I'm going to remove the seeds and scrape off any of that remaining char. And if you want to, you can actually rinse this pepper underwater, but you've just got to make sure that you dry it with a paper towel because you don't want it to be too wet. Okay, so I've already done one pepper. That's in my little blender. In goes the next pepper. Our ground toasted spices, in that goes. Remember there was a teaspoon of fennel, teaspoon of cumin. Got about 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, in that goes. Some de-seeded chilies. Now you can use as many or as few of these as you want, but I've got about 4 or 5 of these little chilies. And then clove of garlic. And on top of that, I've also got some dried chilies. You can use dried long chilies, those little habaneros, Kashmiris, doesn't really matter. And depending on how hot you want it, you can soak these and just take out the seeds. A little glug of olive oil, pinch of salt. And this is optional, but I like pine nuts because it tends to soften that chili hit. The more pine nuts you put in, the more dip-like this harissa becomes. And then blend. So there you go. Ooh, looks good too. Nice and red. It's going to be spicy, but it smells really sweet, which is the capsicum. So just pop that into a little dish. And remember, if you want to taste anything, you've got 5 fingers. Thumb first. Delicious. And hot. So we've got a little digital thermometer. Lamb's been in for about 12 minutes now. Now remember, meat is not cooked until it's rested thoroughly. And a general rule of thumb is it's half the time for the rest as it is for the cook. So if these been in for 12 minutes, then you can rest them for 6 minutes. So as a golden rule, if you want a medium, it's going to be in the high 50s. If you want well done, it's going to be 70 and above. And when I say 70 above, that's well done. And you pop the thermometer right into the middle of the lamb rump, the fattest part. We'll see what that climbs up to. Okay, so these lamb rumps are sitting just over, one's a little bit smaller than the other. This one's sitting just under 60 degrees, and this one's sitting at around 58. So they're going to be perfect by the time they rest. So we're going to let them sit there for about 5 minutes. Lamb's resting, our harissa's made, so let's make a little salad to go with it. Cucumber, green olives, almonds, perfect combination, and very cooling, because remember, we've got harissa, which is spicy. So, all I've done is chop the cucumber just in kind of big triangles, but what I've done is taken away the seeds. It's a chefy thing, you don't need to do it. So a few green olives, and then some raw almonds. And what we'll do is our dressing's made in the bowl, touch of olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then just a squeeze of lemon juice. And then to finish that off, I'm going to use some amaranth. You may not have heard of this before, but there's lots of these little baby herbs around, like baby celery, baby basil. So we'll just pop that on the top. So there's our beautiful salad. Remember, spicy harissa. And for me, it's all about family style. Pop it into the middle of the table, some cutlery, and it doesn't get any better than that beautiful lamb rump. It's quick and easy to make. It's not that big Sunday lunch, that lamb leg. It takes 12 minutes in the oven.